I think at this point, I'm just over it. I think I'm just done. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a lovely, wonderful, fantastic day. It has been a few days since I filmed, and of course, as soon as I start, Jimmy just revs up his engine. Jimmy! Tater, you okay there? Okay, so like I said, it has been a few days since I filmed, and I figured I would do a bit of an update for you guys. I don't have too many major updates, but just some little ones. And then I also asked you guys on my community tab if you had any questions for me, and you guys had a few. So I'm gonna answer some of those as well, and then at the end I'm gonna do like a rapid fire round where I can try to get in as many questions as I can. So let's go ahead and get on into this. I'm gonna do my makeup as we do the thing. The discussion, I don't even know what that word was supposed to be. While we chit chat here, I am gonna be putting on some makeup, and yeah, we're just gonna get ready and hang out. I do oh my gosh, I'm almost empty! No! I was like, I'm drinking one of these zero sugar fake peach flavored monsters, and oh, it's so good. Like liquid peach rings, I love it. I've not done my skincare, so I'm gonna do that real fast. Also, if you guys see like the ends of my fingers are looking a little like Dumbledore and Harry Potter, that's because I dyed my hair last night with box dye for the first time in a very, very long time. It's probably been, oh gosh, I don't even know the last time that I dyed my own hair with box dye, but honestly, like I was going to the salon and getting my hair dyed every now and then, but it's so expensive. It's so expensive, and no offense to like any people who are hairstylists, salon owners, anything like that. I just personally couldn't justify the cost for getting my hair dyed like all one color. If I was a blonde who wasn't naturally a blonde, or I wanted like highlights or like a really intricate haircut or something, then obviously I would go to a salon for that. But for just like an all over color, by the time I was done with everything with tip, it was like $120. So I figured the $15 box dye that I got from Kroger, it will be fine. I'll be fine. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to update you guys on, because like this just happened, is the house hunt. And I think at this point, I'm just over it. I think I'm just done. I think that you guys in the comments are right. Like the universe is telling us like, listen, just stay where you are, because nothing is working out. So we finally were able to look at the house that I was telling you guys about. So if you hadn't seen my last update, like we were basically like tracked down by this realtor guy who knew a family who lived in a house like next to the big house that we were gonna buy. Like everything's connected. It's all connected, and none of it's ending well. He tracked us down and he found us on our second main Facebook, and he was like, hey, are you the couple who put in the offer on like the big house and didn't get it? And we're like, yeah, that's us. He was like, well, my friends who are also clients are looking to sell their house, or maybe they're wanting to sell, and they thought that they would reach out to you guys since they know that you like the area and you like Victorian homes. And we were like, oh my gosh, yes, like this would be amazing. Like that house is really cool. I've seen pictures of it before on Zillow, because I stalk every home like in my area on Zillow. Even if it's not for sale, you can still see the inside of your house. I don't know how comfy that makes people feel, but it's true. You can see inside almost any house you want to. So we were finally able to set a time to go see it. It took us like a month and a half, almost 2 months to be able to go see this house, and we finally went to go see it. It's beautiful, of course. It's a Victorian. It's the type of house that I really want. There's wooden pocket doors, like a really beautiful staircase, big moldings, really tall ceilings. The kitchen is really interesting. Just like a lot of features that we really wanted. There is a basement. It's a little on the spooky side, but there is a basement, and that's one thing that we're wanting because Kentucky has really super weird weather. This is a little side note, but we just had a storm the other day, like a hailstorm out of nowhere. All of a sudden we got this alert on our phone. They're like, oh, by the way, there might be baseball size hail in your area. We're like, oh, okay, that doesn't sound fantastic. And then it comes through with like straight line winds, so incredibly strong. We personally didn't get the baseball size hail. That happened a little bit down the road, but we got hail like, you know, kind of that big. It was slamming into our windows and like bashing into things. I honestly can't believe our windows weren't busted out, but like the boys were not having it. We gave Tater an extra dose of his anti-anxiety medicine because he was like shaking. Anywho, yeah, Kentucky just has not so fantastic weather. So like a basement is something that we're really looking for. Also, a little side note here, I got this package from McCosmetics. Cosmetics. It is a Your Skin But Better CC color correcting full coverage cream, anti-aging serum, and broad spectrum SPF 50. And I'm gonna try that out. That sounds good. So anyway, we go look at this house, and I can tell like Jeremy is really in love with it. I'm also in love with it, but but I just had this feeling because things have been going so terrible with the house hunt. Like I didn't want to get my hopes up because like not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but like nothing is working out as far as like looking for a house. So we're walking through and there's like a lot of bedrooms. The master bedroom was really big. There definitely was work that needed to be done to it though. So like for instance, the floors, every single floor in that house had to be redone, sanded down and redone, every single floor. A lot of the floors, there's absolutely no like stain. It was all gone. Definitely before I moved in, that would have had to have been like the #1 priority, and it would have been about $15,000 to $20,000. But honestly, the fact that like it needed work done to it was kind of making me feel a little better about how much they were going to ask for it, because they paid $360 for it not too long ago, like 2 years ago. And I thought, because I had seen pictures of it on Zillow and stuff, they had really renovated it from those pictures, but they hadn't. So there was like a whole like new roof, there's plumbing, there's electrical, there's all this stuff that was done, but it was done from the owner before them and not them. So work definitely had to be done. And I was like, well, they personally didn't put a ton of money into it. They did do some nice things. They converted the attic to like make it a livable space, and they put in a laundry room upstairs, which is good because again, the basement's spooky and that's where it was before. There's whole trees down there. Some of the supports were just trees. Anyway, we're walking around this house. It's beautiful. Of course, we're like making plans of what we could do, which at this point I should know better. Like I shouldn't get my hopes up at all whatsoever when I'm looking at a house. Like don't decorate it. Don't redo it in your head. Don't like picture a Christmas tree anywhere, because we did ask the realtor, because like this house is not actually listed for sale. Like they sought us out personally to like take us to the house and be able to see if we wanted to buy it. We asked them like, okay, well, how much are they thinking about selling it for? And then remember, they bought it for $360 and they didn't put a ton into it. So I'm thinking at the high end, it should be like $450 to adjust for like inflation and how much they did put into it. But he said they were wanting like low fives, and he didn't explain what he meant by low fives. So low fives could be like 500, 505, 520. What do you with low fives? So they're trying to get like $140,000 profit on this house in 2 years. So when he said that, I think he could see us like physically recoil, like, ew, okay. Not what we were anticipating, but okay. You know, of course we still really liked the house. For the area and stuff, like that is not the price range that house should be in. It really, truly, honestly should be like $430 based on like the square footage, based on like the comps in the area, based on everything, the condition it's in, it should be like $430. Now, if this was a pristine Victorian, if I didn't have to do a thing to it, then like, okay, low fives and I don't have to put any effort into it. It's done, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. We could potentially make it work, just because we already do have a home that we can sell to put towards it. That would be, low fives would be impossible if we didn't have the money from this house to be able to put towards it. But since like $20,000 floors, like that has to be done. The kitchen's a little bit strange. There's a giant piano in the middle of it. Instead of like an island, it's just a massive piano. And that was left there by the previous owners. So like, it's not those owners' piano. It's just so huge they didn't want to move it out of that room. The bathrooms are a little strange. They're a little bit on the odd side. There's a toilet in the upstairs bathroom that's black and costs $1,000. But I forgot to mention the reason I know it's $1,000 is because my dad was the one who sold it to the woman who lived in the house before this family. It's all connected. Everything's connected. It's a little intricate. It's a little intricate in there for me. So things, especially big things, would have to be done. So low fives for that is just unreasonable, honestly. I feel bad about that, but it is just kind of unreasonable. So I think he could see us like physically be like, when he said that. And then he quickly followed it up with, well, we have another showing at 9 o'clock tomorrow, so you know. And then we walked around a little bit more. We did kind of ooh and ah about it. And then when we got home, I waited a little bit. I texted him and I was like, hey, just want to let you know we haven't stopped talking about the house since we left. We're definitely interested. We weren't going to give him low fives though. I didn't tell him that, what we weren't going to. Like, we're definitely interested. We would love to even see it for like a second time, do a second walkthrough. He got back to me and he was like, oh, amazing, excellent. You know, I'll talk with my clients. Like, this is all fantastic. And I was like, oh, lovely. Is Jimmy like weed eating in our yard? That sounds real close. Jimmy, did you get confused? Oh, also, I forgot to mention that when I sent him that text, like, hey, like we would love to do another walkthrough, all that kind of stuff, I did ask him for more information. So he said that he would get me the utilities, he would get us some comps in the area and some other stuff, just more information, and then like kind of a finalized price of what they're really looking for. And then he asked for my email address. I gave that to him, and then it was a few days and we waited and he texted us and was like, hey, sorry, like I haven't forgotten you guys, I'm just getting everything together. Then he sent us how much they had paid for utilities for the past, like since they had moved in. It honestly wasn't bad at all. This is a fairly large home. It's like 3,500 square feet with the addition of the attic, and truly and honestly, they're paying like the same in utilities utilities that we are here. That was a good thing. Like, we were excited about that because I thought utilities would be pretty high. So he sent us that and I was like, okay, great. And then I don't think he ever sent anything to the email, to be honest. He was supposed to send like comps and that kind of stuff, but that never came our way. And then he texted me again and he said, all right, my clients are gonna have a final price for you tomorrow. And I was like, all right, awesome, sounds great. Like, we were excited, we were a little bit nervous. We were talking about what we thought it was gonna be, because like once we got a price, like then we could kind of enter into like, you know, like a negotiation phase and potentially buy this home, because basically it's what we would consider a dream home. So it's Victorian, it's got the woodwork, it's got the fancy stairs, the big kitchen, high ceilings, there's somewhat of a creepy basement. There's a place for us to put a pool table, like a movie, like we were excited. We're like, this kind of checks all of our boxes. So again, hopes up, shouldn't do that, never do that. So we were waiting and waiting and we were waiting. Eventually I get a text that says, good morning. Well, after a lengthy discussion amongst their family, they decided to wait at least until spring to make a final decision. Now, I don't know if he's talking about like spring 2024, but this is spring. So and the longer they thought on it, they just didn't seem like it was the right time. Sorry for any inconvenience. I get it. I totally understand. I do. But at the same time, like, they went to the trouble of like tracking us down and finding us and then like took us forever to finally get to see the house, and then they gave us like a price, and apparently they were showing it to other people, and then, you know, they were like, we're gonna have a final price for you tomorrow. At some time in that like 2 months it took for all this to happen, I feel like potentially maybe they could have had that conversation, that lengthy conversation, like before they got our hopes up for a house. Like maybe just a little bit, like just before. But anyway, like we got that message, and as soon as I got it, I decided, and I told Jeremy, I was like, you know what? I think this is just a sign. I think we're just staying here. So the plan is we're gonna convert the garage into like a cool hangout area. We can put a pool table and stuff out there. I kind of am looking for another place to like move my filming space to, so that way it's not in my house constantly. And I feel like that would be a nice separation between like work and home and that kind of stuff, and I wouldn't have to look at the boxes all the time. The boxes, they haunt my dreams. No, there's actually apartments over top of both of our stores, but our new store that we just opened, there's 2 apartments up there. One of the guys, I don't know how much longer he's gonna be there. So I'm almost kind of thinking it would be cool to have my filming space over that apartment. Like I could come down and work in the store whenever I wanted to, or if I needed to go up and film or do something. Or like if one of you guys comes to visit at the store, which so many of you guys have been coming to visit recently, and that's been so much fun and so sweet. I could like come down if you guys come to the store if I'm working upstairs. So I feel like that could be a good compromise, just to clear up some space in the house. I'm sweating. So anyway, that is the end of the house hunting saga currently. You know, I'll keep you guys updated if something else comes along, but for now, we're probably just gonna focus on fixing up what we have here, just trying to make the most and make the best of our space that we currently have. Ooh. So much powder in my lashes. All right, so that's pretty much everything for the house, and I was gonna give you guys a little update on Tater as well. I feel like there's just been changes with his seizures recently, and I don't know if it's a bad change or a good change, because in one way it's good and in another way it's bad. So the last update that I gave you guys, I'm pretty sure it was when he went to the neurologist. He got a different dosage of phenobarbital, and we started him on CBD oil like every day. But unfortunately, pretty quickly after that update video, I can tell you guys exactly when it was. I keep like track of it in my phone. Yeah, so unfortunately he's had several seizures or seizure activity several times since then. We had one May 24th, June 13th, June 22nd, and then July 3rd, so just a couple of days ago. But even though they've been like more frequent, they've been not as bad. The first one he had after the last update was incredibly frustrating, actually. So this I don't think was like his brain's fault at all. I think this was the fault of like the vets just not meshing, because we now have like 3 different vets for Tater. We have one that's like his everyday kind of vet, like checkups, that kind of thing. We have his emergency vet, and then the neurologist. So all of these different vets kind of like have different ideas about the best way to treat him and how to treat epilepsy. It ended up not meshing together. So what ended up happening was he was at the end of his prescription for phenobarbital. So I called in his refill for phenobarbital, you know, easy peasy, done it a whole bunch. When I called it in, nothing seemed wrong. Everything went through fine. But when Jeremy went to go pick it up, they said that it was too early for it to be filled. And the reason behind that is because the last time he went to the emergency vet, they decided that his liver was probably processing through the phenobarbital too quickly, so he should have 3 pills a day instead of 2. But the prescription that we were using was coming from his standard vet. Even though the emergency vet told us to start giving him 3 pills a day, the standard vet had the prescription written for 2 pills a day, so his prescription ran out too fast. So we're like, oh, okay, well, all we have to do is call his standard vet and have them just refill the prescription. No biggie. Well, apparently it was a little bit more of a biggie than we realized, so my husband called and talked to them, and they said that they would not recommend 3 doses of phenobarbital a day, and that they refused to refill the prescription if we were going to be giving him 3 pills a day. And I was like, I don't know what to do. You know, one vet told us one thing, another vet told us another thing, and we were waiting until like his prescription ran out to be able to start him on the new dosage from the neurologist. But we couldn't start him on the new dosage from the neurologist that day because he had already taken pills previously, and that would have been too high of a milligram dosage for him to take in a day. So we just wanted to get his refill just so he could have a few pills before he could start the higher milligram dosage without it messing up his dosages. So we called the emergency vet to see if they would fill the phenobarbital, and they said that they would, but they ended up filling his Keppra levetiracetam, like the off-brand version of Keppra, instead of the phenobarbital, and like time was ticking down. This boy, he needed his phenobarbital. It's a very strange dosage. It was like 34.2 milligrams of phenobarbital 3 times a day, and he was getting to his dose like he needed it. So I'm getting really worried. I'm getting really concerned. You cannot abruptly stop medicine like this. You cannot abruptly stop a seizure medicine like that. It can cause really, really bad seizures. I mean, we're like back and forth on the phone with everybody. It's honestly a little bit confusing, and I hope I'm getting like my entire story straight here because I talked to so many people on the phone, had to like send over records for different people. So the emergency vet didn't want to fill his regular pheno. They wanted to fill what the neurologist told them to. We were able to finally get his records to them so they could call in the prescription for his new dosage, and they told us that we could go ahead and start it. Just don't give him his 2nd dose of the day, give him the one at nighttime. So basically skip a dose of pheno. And you know what happens when you skip a dose of pheno? You get a seizure. Yep, you get a seizure. So that happened, and he ended up having a seizure. Anyway, sorry, that was so confusing. That was a big confuddled mess of story there. Anyway, all that to say, because the vets were just not agreeing on the dosage of medication to give him, he missed a pill, and it was incredibly frustrating, and he ended up having a seizure, and I was quite frustrated with it. I don't really know why his standard vet refused to fill it, because they knew he was taking it 3 times a day. He had gone there for a cherry eye, like his eyeball like popped out, the inside of his like eyelid here popped out, his 3rd eyelid. So I took him to the vet for that, and I talked to his main doctor and told him he was taking it 3 times a day, and he seemed to think that that was fine. But then during this phone call, apparently it's not fine anymore. So and we did check his blood levels, and his blood levels were perfect on the 3 times a day. So again, we were definitely going to change him to a higher dosage twice a day though, because that's what the neurologist said, and we're kind of going mainly based off what they say because they know the most about it, they specialize in it. But I just don't know, like in that situation, I'm like, he needs medicine like right now. Like, why can't you just please, even if you just filled like a couple of pills just so we could get him through the night before he started on twice a day, like just please fill the medication so we don't skip any. Anyway, he had that one seizure, and it wasn't too bad, it wasn't too terrible, and he didn't have any others after that, so it wasn't a cluster, and that's good. And that's kind of like what is good and also what is bad, because the seizures recently have not been intense and they haven't been clusters, but they have been coming more frequently. The seizure that occurred after that was the quickest seizure he's ever had, and he took himself out of it, which truly and honestly hasn't happened since the very first one, because since the very first one we've had the injections to put in his nose so we could take him out of the seizures immediately. But with this one, we were sitting in the TV room and we could hear some like commotion going on by the side of the couch, and at first we just thought he was digging into a box like under a shelf, but then we realized that he was having a seizure. And by the time Jeremy like said seizure, popped up to go get the nose things, I got down on the floor, and he was kind of in a confined area, and I didn't want him to thrash around and hurt himself, so I picked him up to move him just to the rug. And when I picked him up, like immediately he was out of it, and that's never happened before. Like, I mean, it was maybe 20 seconds, there was no foaming, he didn't go to the bathroom on himself, he didn't come out and like be aggressive, his legs weren't even too wobbly, he was a little bit whiny, but like it was kind of amazing how quickly he came out of it and that he did it on his own. And then this most recent one, like we're not even sure if it was a full seizure, it was just kind of seizure-like activity, which this is the first time my parents have ever seen any type of seizure-like activity from him, and it freaked them out pretty bad. But I mean, he was basically just down and shaking, his eyes were wide. We were able to kind of like massage him, rub his ears, like talk to him and stuff, and then he came out of it as well. So like on one hand, the seizures are seeming to be like really light, but they are coming a little bit more frequently. Before, we kind of judged it like, okay, he's gonna have one seizure or a cluster of seizures at the end of the month, but now now we don't really know when they're gonna happen. So I'm kind of on edge again all the time. But as of now, he is doing good. He does have skin issues. You guys probably saw that in a lot of videos. That last video, he was looking so bad. I'm so sorry about that. He used to be on Cytopoint. He got injections for it every month, but the vet became nervous that it would interact with all of his medications. So unfortunately, he does not get his Cytopoint injections anymore. We just have like a mist that we apply to him topically whenever we start seeing him get really red and itchy, and that's supposed to go on twice a day. The little boy, he's been through a lot, unfortunately, to be so little, but you know, we're doing our best, and he's still very happy. He is a very happy puppy. Nothing keeps him down. He just loves running and playing and bugging his brother, and like he's truly very, very happy. So that makes me happy. I get so sad for him when I see him like have a seizure or be just so red and itchy, or like, you know, wobble like a little fish trying to walk because of his knee problems. Who's texting me? I get really sad for him, but he is not sad for himself. He is a very happy, very sleepy puppy. And that is Tater time. So I gotta go grab his medicine. I'll be right back. Oh, I do have a tiny update on the scam house. So you guys know I've been talking about this house that we were gonna buy, and then that was a whole big thing, and then it was hit by a car. Like the house was physically hit by a car. A lot of you guys are saying it was insurance fraud, which I thought was a very interesting theory. So this is just a tiny update. I don't really know too much, but my dad, who is as nosy as I am, was talking to one of the neighbors. He went to a yard sale like around that area, and he asked him like what the heck happened. And apparently the neighbor was also very confused, because apparently what happened was that a woman driving a big truck just like rammed the house and didn't even attempt to stop, and they still can't figure out how she made it to the house. The way like the road goes and where the house is, the angle doesn't make any sense. So the neighbor was kind of confused about it, but this woman rammed this house so hard it destroyed the truck, and she was fine. I'm pretty sure she was perfectly fine. But the house and the truck were not fine. But there was like no attempt to like brake, nothing. She just hopped a curve, went over like a big grassy area, a driveway, missed trees and plants, and then slammed into the side of this house without even attempting to brake. That's all we know as of now. If that sucker comes back on the market after that truck hit it, I will let you guys know, because I'm very invested in this weird house and why it's cursed, I guess. I don't know. Dang it. There was definitely something else I really want to talk to you guys about, and I totally forgot what it was. Oh, that's right. Okay. So my friend that was in the MLM, or is in the MLM/pyramid scheme thing, and we were supposed to go to dinner. You guys were asking about what happened with that. I saw several comments about that in my community tab. So what happened was we did not go to dinner. We didn't do it. I do feel kind of bad about this, to be honest, but I told her, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it to dinner, just to see if communication would continue from there, or if it truly was to like get me to this dinner so she could try to sell me something or get me in her downline. So basically I said like, I've been super busy, like I've barely been sleeping. Would you have time to do it this week or this weekend? And this was apparently around Easter, because I said happy Easter. And then she said, yeah, we can plan for this week. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't hear from her, and that was the end of that. And I didn't hear from her until April 29th, and she said, hey lady, we need to replan our dinner. Also, if you're interested in ordering anything, let me know. I close out tomorrow, and I'm one order away from a big bonus. So she waited 20 days to text me again, and then said, hey, I need you to order something so I can get a bonus, basically. So no, we didn't go to dinner. I did respond to that, talking about like Tater seizures and that kind of stuff, and like we're having a hard time, everything's really busy and that kind of thing, and just general like chit chat. She did actually respond to that, and then I feel kind of bad, but I didn't respond after that, and she hasn't reached out since. So maybe, you know, the next time she's real close to a big bonus, I'll hear from her. So that's basically what happened with that. I do think that she was reaching out just because she needed people to buy her stuff, or she needed people to like take into the MLM with her so she could get more money or whatever, because that's how you make money in an MLM. That's why it's called a pyramid scheme. Like, you have to have people underneath you for you to make any money. The person at the very tippy top makes all the money, and then the people like below that barely make anything. You can look at like the income reports from these MLMs that release that kind of stuff. Like 99.9% of these people are making no money. Maybe not 99.9, but like the majority, 90% are making basically no money, when like the people on the top, they're just leeching on all the other people that are leeching on their friends. It's not great. It's not great. So yep, that's all that happened with that. And I don't know if I'm gonna pursue anything further or not. I do feel really bad, because we were friends since literally like basically birth. Like, this wasn't, you know, somebody I've known for just a couple of years. Like, I have known her my entire life. We went to school together our entire lives, like pre-K to 12th grade. She lives in the same town as me. I do see her occasionally like out and about. I still see her mom and stuff. You know, I invited her to my wedding, but it just seems like the friendship, it probably will not progress any further, unfortunately. I do really like her, which makes me sad. Like, she has a great personality. She's super fun. She's very outgoing. I always felt like I could like trust her and rely on her and that kind of stuff, but unfortunately the MLM is sunk its teeth into her. I wish her the best. I truly do. I want nothing but good things for her, but I also would love to have just gone to dinner just to reminisce and hang out and not like, you know, be sold product. All right, now I think I want to go through y'all's questions and just do like a rapid fire round and see how many questions I can get through. All right, question 1. I'm just literally going down the list and scrolling. What was your favorite thing about your wedding and what was one thing you regretted? My favorite thing was truly just having fun with everybody at the end. It was so much fun dancing and singing with all of my family and my friends and my new husband. Like, we had a really great time and I loved that. One thing I regretted was probably like the food situation, because we had tasted the food with the chef that was going to be, we thought was going to be preparing food for our wedding, and it was so good. It was so delicious. Oh man, I messed up that eyeliner real bad. Oh no. But before our actual wedding, they changed chefs on us. And the only reason I knew that they changed chefs is they did like an Instagram post on it. And they didn't tell us. They did not tell us that they were changing chefs. But I saw it before. So like, I really wish that I had like, I'm like, hey, is the food gonna be any different since your chef is different? Because it definitely was. The food that we tasted was not the food that we got at the wedding. The food we got at the wedding was not that good. Unfortunately, it was not that good. I loved the venue and everything, but the food was not what we anticipated it to be. We were ranting and raving about like how good their mashed potatoes were to everybody. And then when we finally got served mashed potatoes, we were like, what the heck is this? So that is my only regret, is not asking them like, hey, is the food gonna be any different since you got a whole brand new chef? Because it was. It definitely was. I don't know why, but setting as a cosmetologist, I'm interested in your hair journey ever since you dyed it. Do you feel more comfortable with it dyed? Yes, I do. I do feel more comfortable with it dyed. Before, it was like this light kind of mousy brown color, and I don't know, I just feel more confident with it dyed. What do I do for like the color upkeep? I was using like a color depositing conditioner until like I dyed it myself, because like I said, I really just going in to get my roots touched up was basically like 120 bucks, and I couldn't really swing that or justify that. This one is, I wonder if Tater's skin condition was a side effect of his meds or if it was pre-existing. It was pre-existing. So he actually got the injections and stuff before he ended up getting seizures, so he has had this for a long time, unfortunately, the poor little baby. If you ever move or do renovations, would you consider doing videos about it? Yes, I would. You know, we are gonna be working on stuff here because I'm over the house hunting journey. For right now, anyway. We're gonna be doing renovations here, the garage, bathrooms, maybe some kitchen stuff, so I can do some videos on that. I'm seeing several questions about like store tours, and yes, I can definitely do that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that kind of stuff on this channel, or I do have a vlog channel that has nothing on it. I've never posted anything to the vlog channel. I'm thinking about doing vlogs a little bit, but I feel like my house isn't clean enough. Is that a ridiculous reason to not do vlogs? I feel like I'd have to do a mass like cleaning, like just organizing cleaning before I could do vlogs. Or maybe that could be part of the vlog, like get my life together with me vlog. There's a lot of questions about children on here, not just the fluffy ones, but like the people kind. And yeah, it's an interesting situation. I have endometriosis. I have a very large cyst on one of my ovaries, so there are things that might prevent us from having children. Right now, just right now, no, but in the future, maybe. We feel like this baby needs a lot of attention right now, so having like an actual, like, you know, skin baby, ooh. I was like, what's the opposite of a fur baby? Skin baby sounds real gross. You know, a human baby might be a little bit difficult right now while we're trying to figure out everything with Tater, and he is still really young, so maybe when he grows out of his puppy phase a little bit and we have him more settled on all of his medications and things, then we'll start considering more to have kids and stuff. You still get letters and packages of sweet gifts from fans. Would you do another fan gift video? Yeah, I still do every now and then get letters. I got a birthday card from some really sweet people that come into the store a couple of times. Dag nabbits. It's definitely not something I really advertise or anything. I don't want anybody to like send like physical stuff. Shipping's so expensive, buying things is everything's so expensive nowadays, but letters are always very sweet, and I keep every single one of them. I have a big binder full of letters, so every now and then I do. Have you ever thought about creating and selling your own subscription box? I have thought about that. I just have no idea how to do it. It seems kind of difficult. I don't really know, but I've been buying Ipsy's always on the brain. Etsy subscriptions. I just got another round of them. I'm gonna be doing a video on those. Maybe if I did like a subscription through like Etsy, that could work, but it wouldn't be like makeup-y stuff, because I don't know how to, you know, get in touch with like Tarte and be like, hey, I need some of your palettes. It would be more like handmade stuff or candles, that kind of thing. There's several questions in here about like how I de-stress or how I like decompress, and I don't know if that's a thing I actually do. I don't know if like de-stressing is ever something like I achieve, but I attempt to do it with like bubble baths. I love a bath. I love sitting in the bath with like Netflix playing or just on my phone scrolling, sometimes with some wine, sometimes with like a big thing of Diet Dr. Pepper. I'll take snacks in there. I love the bath. The bath is a good time. Do you ever recognize some profile pictures or names that like and comment on your videos over the years? I do. I really do. I just saw a couple one from Crystal and one from Deline. I hope I'm saying your name right. Like some of those names and stuff and profile pictures, I think Deline might have even changed her like name, but I still recognized her profile picture. How come your husband doesn't appear on your YouTube channel? He will eventually. I've asked him. He's a little bit shy, a little bit on like, I think he just gets a little bit, just like me. I started off super shy. It's really intimidating, honestly, to film yourself. I think he's just a little shy about it, but eventually he will start appearing on the channel. How do you manage everything? Spreadsheets, hired an assistant? You think I'm organized enough for a spreadsheet? If you think I've ever even attempted to make a spreadsheet, you should see what this room looks like. No, no. I manage everything poorly. That's how it's managed, is poorly. Do you still hate pants? Yes. Only hard pants though. I like stretchy pants. Hard pants are very different. How is Steve? Oh, Steve, he's doing good. I haven't seen him in so long and I really wish I could see him. I feel like Tater would love to play with him because he looks like a giant like stuffed animal, but I don't know how much Steve would love Tater. So that's a little iffy if they'll ever get to hang out. All right, let's do one last question here. Oh gosh, I don't really know. Which one should I pick? I love how the beginning of this one's worded. What are you doing, if anything, about your rampant ADHD issues? Nothing currently. Not a thing. Alright you guys, so here is the final makeup. Thank you so much for getting ready with me today. I just wanted to do some updates with you guys, sit down, chit chat, catch up. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to all of them, but yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. So thank you so very much for watching. Please go ahead and consider subscribing if you would not mind. It would mean the absolute world to me, and I just hope you guys have a lovely, wonderful, fantastic day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.